It is Monday, December 10th, 2018, 9:27 a.m. It is a onesie kind of day. So, today what I want to talk about is something that is kind of changing in my life. Um, and with it comes a little bit of a backstory. So, I stopped drinking and smoking weed in like 2012, I think. And drinking was never that big of a thing for me. Even with the stuff that's happened in my life revolving alcohol, it wasn't ever really something that I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. So I think I've been drunk twice in my life, and both times it was whatever. It was kind of, I don't know, I got dizzy and I dropped my phone a lot, which wasn't that fun. But even then, I never really liked it all that much. But I stopped drinking in 2012, but I also stopped smoking weed in 2012 because for a couple of reasons. One was I felt guilt because I felt it was unfair that someone else was someone else close to me was going through recovery, and here I was just kind of smoking away like a chimney. So I decided to stop doing that. But the second reason was because I thought about it a bit, and I thought that I think I'm addicted. And looking back, I definitely was, because I was definitely almost dependent on it to the point where, I would get McDonald's or I'd have dinner, and before I would come down here, I'd sit it on my desk and I'd go get high because I was like, I need to be high to enjoy this. Or before I watched a movie, I'd be high to enjoy this. Before I played a game, high. When I wake up, high. Go to bed, high. And I was like, looking back, I was definitely addicted to it. So I stopped doing that, and at the time I kind of told myself, I'm doing this because I don't want to fall in the trap of addiction that's kind of cursed my life. So it's been a while, and recently I've kind of rethought about all of this and asked myself, why am I sober? And so one of the things that's changed in recent years is I've become a little bit more open, I guess, to the idea of alcohol. Not that I want to start drinking again, and I don't think I ever will, because, like I said, I wasn't really that much of a fan to begin with, but also I think because of the events that have happened in my life, I think alcohol is always going to be something that is kind of, I don't know, something I dislike. So, but what's happened in recent years is that I've become a little bit more open to at least trying alcohol. And what I mean by that is, for example, Carla, when we were dating, she would have a drink, and she'd be like, hey, do you want to try this? And I'd have a sip, and I'd say, oh, good or bad. And that was kind of the extent of which I would be drinking. And I think that's fine. I don't think I'm ever going to be someone who gets home from work and has a beer or, a shot or something like that to wash down the day. But I think for a long time, like, what it was for me was that I didn't want to even try alcohol. Like, if there was a chocolate with rum in it, like, I wouldn't have that. If something was made with alcohol, like, I would just stay away completely from alcohol. And I think that was a very extreme reaction to everything that had happened. So in recent years, I've become a little bit more open to at least trying alcohol, which I think is fine. But with weed, it was something that was always that I always had this kind of craving for it, and I took that as a sign of addiction, as wow, it's been so long and I still crave it. And maybe that's true, but I started thinking about it, and I guess the thing that started this whole thing was that I was thinking of buying some weed from, it's been legal for a while, so I wanted to buy some weed. And I thought about it, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy it for the sake of getting high. I don't think I think that I definitely am still a little bit worried about the addiction aspect of it, whether it's psychological, or whether it's like, or not psychological, genetic, or just me as a person. I definitely am a little bit worried about that. But I think what I decided was recreational use is something that I need to avoid, and it's something that I'm not. I don't think is a good idea. I always did enjoy getting high, but I think that getting high for the sake of it is not something that's going to turn out well for me. But when I thought about it, I was like, weed can be pretty medicinal, and I have depression. I'm very up and down with my moods, almost to the point of almost being bipolar. Like, even like just depending on the room that I'm in, I could be in a different type of mood. I have a little bit of stress. I'm apparently very anxious, according to my doctors, even though I don't really feel it all the time. But I decided that I was going to smoke weed as kind of like a medicinal thing. And So I bought some weed. It was $15, which definitely isn't worth, but it was one joint, BC Della Haze, I think it's called. It hasn't come in yet, but I th- a part of me's still nervous, but I think when it really came down to it, I asked myself, why am I sober? And I realized that I was part of my life, part of my, I guess, identity of being sober was had to do with someone else. It wasn't a choice that I was making because I thought it was something that I needed to do. It was because it was a reaction to someone else's actions. And I realized that I didn't want my life to revolve. I don't want the actions in my life to be a result of someone else doing something. And so, yeah, I just didn't like that. And I think all the stuff that's happened in my life revolving addiction, that's been definitely a teaching moment for me, both kind of in terms of the dangers of addiction as well as just not dealing with people's shit. But I think, yeah, I think with this entire time since 2012, I've had numerous times where I thought about smoking weed. I've had numerous kind of thoughts of trying other drugs. Specifically something like mushrooms, or for a long time I wanted to try salvia, and I'd always think about it. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm sober now, and it was like when I thought about it, I was like, what do you mean I'm sober? I'm never the one who had the problem. It was always someone else, and I'm just reacting to that. I recognized that that was a bad thing they were doing, and I took away those vices in my life, and I took away that opportunity to continue being addicted to weed as I think I was. But I think, yeah, I just want to, I think, the, so basically what I'm saying is I want to try weed for medicinal purposes. Um, and I think it's something that I'm going to be very conscious and strict about. Like I said, I only bought the one joint, so I just wanted to try it to see that this specific strand or whatever is supposed to be very uplifting and make me feel happy and stuff. So I'd like to try a few different strands just to kind of see how I react to them, and if it affects my mood specifically. Because I don't remember, I don't remember what my mood was like. I remember being sometimes silly when I was high, but I don't remember ever concentrating on my mood. So I want to see what it does to my mood both while I'm high, but also if it has any residual effects, almost like a hangover. Like I get high today, but tomorrow and the day after that, I'm in a better, happier mood. I want to see if that's a thing, and I want to see if in general, like maybe it doesn't, maybe I don't have that hangover, but maybe just in general, I'm in a little bit more of a open, happier mood, right? And maybe specifically in those times when I get depressed, I can kind of help myself get out of it. Or when I'm really feeling anxious, I can help myself get out of it with weed. So I want to try it. I'm going to try a few different ones. If it doesn't work, and if it does work, I'm going to figure out kind of what the best route to take there is. And if it does work, thinking I still have to do about all of that. It's deciding how I'm going to decide when and when not to smoke, because I don't want to be where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna get high because I'll probably be depressed later. I don't want it to be like that. I don't want to fall into that pit. What I think, like I said, I still have to figure this out. But what I think I need to do is figure out some sort of method where it's like, okay, to get high, I need this criteria. I'm having a really bad day. I really could use pick me up, or I'm feeling really stressed or anxious. Like I don't want it to be like I don't want it to become a daily thing where it's almost like I'm taking a pill every day and getting high. I definitely do not want that, and I want to figure out, like I said, a strategy to how I would go about smoking weed if it did work for me. But when it comes to other drugs, the other reason I want to try those is because I've always wanted to see what it was like. But on top of that, I've always thought that I would be someone who benefited from the use of psychedelics, because I feel like I don't think everyone needs to have a psychedelic experience to kind of open their mind and help them understand the world and themselves. But I think I'm someone who would benefit from that. And I definitely still need to do a lot of research into the drugs themselves and how they work, what effect they have on you, both when you're high and just health wise, what long term and short term effects. But I think those are things that I'm a little bit more open to now than I was in the past. and I would like to try that, and I'd like to, like I said, kind of get a little bit of a better understanding of myself and the world, and maybe I'll do those things a couple times, and nothing will ever happen. Maybe I'll just be the same person, and in my mind, and all I'll have is really just a memory of, oh wow, this happened while I was on mushrooms, and whatever. But I'd like to at least try it. So yeah, that's this video. I guess a large portion of me is, I don't know if it's nervousness. I think I've always been someone who's been streaky, in terms of that I love, like, for whatever reason, mentally, like when I'm on a streak, I need to keep doing that thing to be on a streak. Like it's almost like an OCD thing. It's like the workout thing. Like I need to exercise. Like I don't have to do this out the long exercises, but as long as I exercise every day, I'm good. I've kept that streak, because I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. Well, actually, doing some sort of exercise every single day, and like I can't let that go now. It's like I've done it. I have to do that. And so with this sobriety thing, it's like, am I really just gonna give up 6 years of not smoking weed just so I could feel better? And it's like, yes. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I give myself the opportunity to feel better, potentially to help myself? Like I don't know. That's the way I see it. That's the way I've been thinking about it. Is that my life was being lived due to someone else's life, and I want to, like, for me, I think weed might help me. Um, and maybe at the very least, maybe it'll be something where it's like, okay, this doesn't really do that much, but like I said, maybe it's like if I'm having a really bad day, I know this will help, and this will help it feel a little bit better. So that's just kind of, yeah. I don't want to become reliant on anything. I just want to have it be a medicinal thing. Like I said, recreational use is something that I want to avoid because of, I think that's gonna. I don't think that's something that I would benefit well from. And yeah, so I don't know if I really explained all my thoughts on this. Was kind of scatterbrained on this, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And so at some point this week, I would imagine, unless mailing issues, that should come in. And I don't know. I don't know when I'll smoke it. I'm a little nervous as to getting high again, but it's almost liberating, kind of having this. I don't know, this change in my life where it's like, okay, now I'm living my life. This is an option. This is something I'm making for myself, and I don't hold a grudge against the people that have affected my life. It's just that, again, when I thought about it, I was like, what they did isn't what I'm gonna do. And what they did was kind of like a teaching opportunity for me to realize, hey, don't, like, this is an issue that runs in the family, so don't fall into that trap. So I think I'm smart enough to have that conscious thought of, don't get addicted, which I guess could be easier said than done. But I think with all that's gone on, it's something that's almost obvious to me. It's don't get addicted. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see how that goes. But that's it for now. I have a couple of more updates that I'll probably do tomorrow. I didn't do a vlog yesterday because I was feeling kind of whatever. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so I didn't really feel like talking. So we'll do that. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. So that's this vlog, and yeah, see ya.